Guys, this is S&P 500 weekly technical analysis for the week of May 13th. That is from May 13th, which is Monday, to May 17th, that will be Friday. Now we can clearly see that the trend has changed. Trend has changed for the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. Whereas the trend change in the Dow Jones is not yet fully realized. However, the most surprising part is that it was actually the Dow Jones which has helped the entire market to move up and to change the trend from bearish to bullish. But the Dow Jones itself has failed to give a proper bullish trend. However, if there comes three more bullish candles, then the Dow Jones will also align into the bullish trend. Now the question is that does that mean that the market will be able to move up and up? No, it will not be like that. It will take a break and then it will resume its bullish trend. Now this was my previous S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, and the only condition for the bullish movement was to see a sustained movement above 5146, sustained closing above 5146, and Monday was supposed to be the day when everything will be clear. And what was 5146? It was 61.8% of the Fibonacci retracement level. Now this was my final update on Monday to my Patreon community members, and it was clear that if the S&P 500 closes above this heavy resistance level, it was above the 61.8% fib level. So closing above this means that S&P 500 has cleared all of the strong resistance levels, including the Fibonacci retracement level, and this means that now the fib retracement won't be applicable as such, and most likely the market is going to regain its bullish trend. Now there is an obvious question that if the S&P 500 came into the bullish trend or the neutral trend on Monday, then why the S&P 500 was hesitating, or why it was reluctant to move up on Tuesday and Wednesday? The reason was there was a trend line and the boundary of the Ichimoku cloud and the 78.6% of the Fibonacci retracement level. So, and yes, and there was one more thing, this was my heavy resistance level. So there were four factors working here, and these four factors were keeping the S&P 500 below 5,200. So in my pre-market update on Wednesday, I have mentioned all of these, the four factors, and I mentioned that if the S&P 500 is thinking about 5 to XX or so, then it must clear and sustain above the strong zone. This zone was created by these four factors. So guys, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you are looking for the daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, I will discuss the agenda quickly. The agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. The first point of the agenda is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, clearly there is a major change, because on the weekly chart, especially in the S&P 500, there is a condition of open equal to low. Okay, I will discuss the meaning of the open equal to low condition and its impact on the movement in the next week. So weekly chart means the hawk-eye view, the big picture. Okay. Second point of the agenda is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the daily chart. So daily chart means a short-term picture. In the short term, what we have seen, a dozy kind of candle. Okay, it is not actually a dozy, but it is a spindle. It is a spindle, and also it's a bearish candle, a bearish spindle. What it means? So what does that mean? This means that now we are anticipating a reversal. But does that mean that there will be a gap down open? No, it is not confirmed that there will be a gap down open or gap up open. Okay, I will discuss more. The third and the last point of the agenda is the probable movement of the S&P 500 from May 13th, which is Monday, to May 17th, that will be Friday. Whatever is going to happen in the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, I will discuss in this the last point of the agenda. Just like what I mentioned the last week, that 5146 is the resistance. Okay, so a breach of 5146 or a closing above 5146 means more bullish movement, but then there will be a trend line and these multiple factors, and the S&P 500 will struggle, and only a closing above this, the trend line and these four factors, the S&P 500 will be able to move up. So I will discuss all of this in the probable movement of the S&P 500. So now guys, I am going to begin with the first point of the agenda, which is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the weekly chart. Now guys, we are here and this is the first point of the agenda, and this is the weekly chart. Weekly chart means that one candle represents 1 week, not 1 day or 1 hour. So before I begin, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you're looking for the daily and precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now let's first discuss the weekly candle. So what is so important about the weekly candle? Okay, this is a very special candle. Why? Because open equal to low. This condition is there in the candle. So if you notice, the open price of the candle was 5142.42. Okay, and the low price of the candle was also the same. This means that immediately after open, the S&P 500 moved up. Okay, and then the closing was seen, the high it has made around 5240 and the closing was 5222. Okay, so what it means? This does not confirm any gap up open. Okay, remember, this does not confirm any gap up open. But yes, what it confirms is that there are good or heavy bullish sentiments in the stock market. Okay, and these bullish sentiments can be seen in the next week for the entire week. Okay, Wednesday will be exceptional because Wednesday will then the Wednesday may change the course of the stock market. Let me show you one example of this kind of candle. Okay, generally you will see this was the candle which was seen for the week of 11th of December 2023. This candle was exactly in the same open equal to low condition. Okay, means immediately upon open, S&P 500 moved up, right? Then in the next week, the week of 18th of December, we have seen a bullish candle, a bullish weekly candle, although it came down, but it recovered and it sustained. So this is what I'm trying to say here, that there is no confirmation on the gap up open, but what is confirmed is that there are bullish sentiments. These bullish sentiments will be there in the market at least until Monday, end of the day. Why Monday? Why not Tuesday? Why not Wednesday, Thursday? The reason is that on Tuesday, PPI data will be published. PPI is Producer Price Index. Okay, this data will be published before the open of the stock market. Now, this PPI data will give an idea about what is expected to happen in the CPI. CPI data will be published on Wednesday, the inflation data, core inflation and the inflation. Okay, now remember, this bullish movement that you are seeing here, okay, it started through the manipulation. Okay, and then after 2 days of heavy manipulation, then it changed from the initial the bearish levels to the bull side, and then there came the data that was the non-farm payroll data, okay, and the unemployment data, and the Wall Street has celebrated the increase in the unemployment has increased by 3.9%, and non-farm payroll data indicated that there was a heavy decline. So I hope the condition is clear, okay, through the candle, that we are expecting this kind of movement. Means irrespective of anything, there will be bullish movement or bullish sentiments. Only and only a heavy this is the CPI data. Although PPI data may not make any heavy impact, but the CPI data on Wednesday, definitely it will make a heavy impact, and it has, if the CPI data indicates that inflation is stubborn, inflation is moving up, then definitely it will simply counter the bullish sentiments brought in to the market by or through this candle. Okay, but if the CPI data indicates that inflation is going down, then definitely it will move up, and chances are that it will make another new all-time high. Okay, now let's talk about the technicals. Before that, let me also discuss the weekly candle of the Dow Jones. In case of the Dow Jones, open equal to low condition is not there, because after open it came down and then only it moved up. But yes, it's a very heavy bullish candle indicating bullish sentiments. Okay, so yes, now let's discuss the technicals. In terms of the technicals, clear fan out in the moving averages. Okay, Ichimoku cloud, Bollinger Bands, everything is bullish. Here, in case of the MACD is still bearish. Okay, no support from MACD. Stochastic RSI has changed to bullish. Okay, but still the S&P 500 is trading in the overbought condition, although it was coming out of overbought condition, but because of this heavy change, heavy bullish movement, okay, especially because of the manipulation on last Friday, Thursday, Friday, and then the Monday, last week Monday, okay, because of this extremely heavy manipulation, we have seen that it managed to, that the S&P 500 failed to come out of the overbought condition, and it is still trading in the overbought condition. And on Monday immediately after open, it is expected to hit the saturation also, okay. Again the same picture, that it was moving up, heavy saturation, and then it came down heavily, okay. So what it means is that the S&P 500 on the weekly chart is 80% bullish. On the weekly chart, S&P 500 is 80% bullish clearly, okay. The only problem is the overbought. It is now again, it is back into the overbought condition. Other than that, on Monday we are expecting it to hit the saturation also, overbought and saturation, okay. In case of the Dow Jones, if you notice, Dow Jones, almost the same condition, okay, no change as such, but Dow Jones is not in the overbought and is not expected to hit the saturation next week. This is the weekly chart. On the daily chart, Dow Jones has already hit the absolute saturation, and that is the problem, that even though it is bullish, but it has hit the absolute saturation, and now we are expecting a break, okay, in this the bullish bull side movement. So again, everything indicates that Dow Jones and S&P 500 are 80% bullish on the weekly chart. And let's see what is going to happen in the next week. But whatever will happen, whatever is going to happen, I will keep you posted through the daily precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday that I give to my Patreon community members every day. Now guys, I have one more information to share with you, that this is my stock market knowledge transfer program, or the S&P 500 knowledge transfer program. Through this program, I teach the movement, strategies, trend analysis, manipulation, technicals, predictions, means everything that I know, okay. And the motto of the program is to help you become self-reliant, and this program is delivered one-on-one basis only. And because we will talk about the strategies, technicals, and these things, this means that whatever you are going to learn through this program will be applicable to any stock, any index, any currency, any commodity, crypto, to everything that is traded in the stock market. And this is my email address. Whenever you participate in this program, or if you have any questions, you can simply send me an email. And this is the Google spreadsheet. More information is there in this Google spreadsheet, everything in detail. And this is the Google spreadsheet, and you will notice that everything from basics to advanced, the technicals, the technical indicators, the modified values, and how to deduce a trend, how to analyze the trend, options trading, everything in detail is there in this the Google spreadsheet. So you can deduce the trend, or you can analyze the movement even before it happens. And these are the important terms and conditions, and these are the snapshots of the meetings. So guys, whenever you want to participate in this program, this is my email address, and also I've given the link to this program in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, I am going to discuss the second point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And here in the second point of the agenda, I will do the technical analysis of the S&P 500 on the daily chart. This is the daily chart. Daily chart means one candle represents one day, not 1 week or 1 hour. Okay, so these are the daily candles. So before I begin, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you're looking for the daily precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I've given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now this, the last candle, okay. So just like the weekly candle, okay, which was a special, this last candle is also special. Why and how this candle is special? Okay. Number one, this candle is a spindle. This candle is a spindle. Okay. Simply a spindle candle, which indicates a reversal. Number two, it's a technical bearish candle. And guys, let me remind you that I am not using the usual or the regular candles, okay, which is why you might see that it's a green candle and why I am saying it's a technical bearish candle, because I am using the different candles, okay. But if you open your chart and if you use the usual candle, then you will see that this the last candle is a red candle, okay. So those are the normal candles, but these are the modified candles, okay. Now So what it means, okay, a technical bearish candle and a spindle, both of these conditions are indicating a reversal. Now, will there be a long-term reversal? No, that is not seen as of now in the picture, or is not seen at least until Tuesday or Wednesday. This means that any reversal for now is expected to be limited to the boundary of the Ichimoku cloud. But before the boundary of the Ichimoku cloud, okay, there are very heavy support levels. Okay, only and only if the S&P 500 loses these the very heavy support levels, although it was coming down on Friday, but still it managed to sustain because of the Dow Jones. So only and only if it loses this the very heavy support level, then it will also lose the trend line, okay, and then the situation will become dicey. So let's see how it is going to trade on Monday, because whatever is going to happen on Tuesday and Wednesday, it will depend on the outcome of the PPI data and the CPI data. And if you are my Patreon community member, then I will keep you posted, okay, just like I always do. So as of now, this is clear. It's a spindle candle, okay, as well as a bearish candle indicating a reversal, but not a long-term reversal, just an intraday, just a short reversal, okay. This is the Dow Jones. This candle is a good bullish candle, okay, in the Dow Jones. Now the only problem is that there is a trend line in the Dow Jones, okay, and if the S&P, if the stock market, okay, if it keeps on moving up, the stock market, okay, in that case what will happen is that the stock market is going to hit the trend line. So this means that there is a little room left, around 39,600 is there. So 39,600 approx in the Dow Jones, okay, which is very near to 39,500 the previous close. So this means that if there comes somehow, okay, if there comes a gap up open and the market try to move up, then Dow Jones will be able to move up a little, okay, around 0 point from the previous close. It will be around 0.3%, 0.25%, 0.25 or 0.3%. And in the similar manner, S&P 500 will be able to move up, and its upward movement around will be around 0.5240, 5241 or 5240, okay. Anyways, the easy method is to remember that whenever the Dow Jones hits the trend line, okay, that movement, so the movement will be stopped, the bullish side movement will be stopped, okay, in the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq at the same time. Anyways, I will discuss more of this in the last point of the agenda, in the next point of the agenda. Okay, now let's discuss the technicals, the technical indicators. In terms of the technical indicators, okay, moving averages, again a bullish crossover, there was a bearish crossover, then there is a bullish crossover, and above everything is bullish, okay. Clearly moving averages are bullish and all of the technical indicators are bullish, but at the same time, S&P 500 is not in the overbought condition. However, the S&P 500 is in the saturation. It is in the saturation, okay. It has hit the saturation on Friday, okay, and I have informed my Patreon community member that say this is going to happen if the S&P 500 trades above 5214, which was the closing of the previous candle on Thursday. If it trades above the previous closing, okay, this candle, then it will hit the saturation. This will be the first day in the S&P 500, and this will be the second consecutive closing in the absolute saturation in the Dow Jones, okay. This is the condition that Dow Jones is trading at the absolute saturation through stochastic RSI for 2 continuous days, and the S&P 500 is trading in the same condition only for 1 day, okay. So all of this indicates that the S&P 500 is 100% absolute bullish, and the S&P and the Dow Jones, I think it is also, Dow Jones is also, it is not 100%, it is 90% bullish, okay. There is just one more thing, okay, which is left, and until that condition is not fulfilled, we will not say that the Dow Jones is 100% bullish, okay. Yes, absolute saturation is there, clearly it is there, okay. So what does this the absolute saturation means? So now remember, I've talked about these are multiple cases, the candle and all, and now you can add the absolute saturation into that. All of these conditions indicate that there is a break or a pause. Break or pause means some bearish movement is expected in the entire US stock market, and this is technically true. So technically on Monday, the market must show some weakness in the sense that on Monday it can try to trade just sideways, just up down up down up down. That will also be seen as a weakness, okay? Or it comes down, it trades red, or it remains red, okay? That will also be seen as a weakness, okay? So this is the condition there, and the most important part is the saturation. Both of the indices and the Nasdaq also has hit the absolute saturation. Anyways guys, whatever will happen, whatever is going to happen, I will keep you posted through the daily precise updates which I give to my Patreon community members every day from Monday to Friday. And it is not just about these, the daily updates, the daily precise updates I give to my Patreon community members. I also give these the stock market opportunities in the premium stocks of the US stock market. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community, I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And when you click on that link, then you will see that this is my Patreon page and this is my Patreon profile. And on my Patreon page, there are these two tiers or two levels. This is daily S&P 500 updates for non-US and Canada residents. This is daily S&P 500 updates for US and Canada residents only. So when you subscribe to either of these, then you'll be getting the daily S&P 500 analysis, precise updates, the probable movement, everything, as well as the stock market opportunities, minimum 5 to 10 every week. And guys, if you notice that many people have joined my Patreon community for last many days, weeks, months, years, and they are getting these are daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday, as well as the stock market opportunities in the premium stocks. And they are very well aware of what is going to happen and how it is going to happen. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community in order to get the daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, then I've given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And you can follow that link to join my Patreon community and you are welcome. Now guys, I'm going to discuss the third and the last point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And here I will give you the probable movement of the S&P 500 for the next week, means from May 13th, which is Monday, to May 17th, that will be Friday. So whatever is going to happen in from Monday through Friday next week, I'm going to discuss here in this, the last point of the agenda. So before I begin, you need to understand, number one, Tuesday, the PPI data will be published, Producer Price Index. And I think this will be this is happening after many months, okay, that the PPI data is going to be published before the CPI data. Generally, first the CPI data is published, then the next day PPI data is published. Okay, and then the PPI data, okay, it is generally, it is not considered because the market already considered, okay, that through the CPI data. Now the PPI data will be published on Tuesday. So PPI data will give an early insight that what we are expecting, okay, in terms of the inflation, okay. But be very careful, because PPI data sometimes, okay, it opposes the CPI data. Means you will see that the PPI data is indicating inflation is moving up, and CPI data, okay, it actually shows that inflation is coming down. Similarly, PPI data shows that the inflation is coming down, and the CPI data shows that the inflation is moving up. Okay, but eventually it will be the CPI data which will be considered by the market. Okay, so PPI data, just be careful on Tuesday. But if you are my Patreon community member, then you need not to be worried about, okay, this thing. I will mention all of these the cases, okay, and also the impact and the numbers. I will give you the levels, etc. Second thing is Wednesday. On Wednesday, the CPI data and the core CPI data will be published, and this is what is important. Anyways, we do not control the Wall Street or the stock market, so let's stick to the numbers, okay, and these are facts. So these are the two things. Anyways, now let's discuss about the numbers, the levels, and the movement. So guys, before that, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you're looking for the daily precise updates of the S&P 500 from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, in terms of the movement, okay, what we need to understand is that there is a trend line in the S&P 500. Okay, there is a trend line in the S&P 500, okay, roughly around here. And there is a trend line in the Dow Jones, okay. And now remember the Fibonacci retracement, okay, it is now out of the picture, okay. So we will not consider the Fibonacci retracement anymore. So trend line here in case of the Dow Jones, it says 30 9,600 something, okay, trend line in the Dow Jones. And in case of the S&P 500, the trend line says around the previous high, in simple terms, not previous high, but it will be 5251, around 5251 or 5250, it will be there, okay. And around these levels, okay, there is one or there are two resistance levels, okay. So 5251 or 5250 in the S&P 500 and 39,600 in the Dow Jones. These are the trend line levels, okay. Other than these are trend line levels, what we know is that this particular candle, it's a bearish candle. So this candle, it's a bearish candle, a technical bearish candle, as well as a spindle. This is indicating a bearish movement, okay, number one. Number two, if you look into the stochastic RSI absolute saturation, S&P 500 has hit the absolute saturation on one day. Dow Jones has hit the absolute saturation on 2 consecutive days. On 2 consecutive days. What it means? This simply means that the Dow Jones was earlier, it was able to move up and it was reluctant to give up. Now the S&P, now the Dow Jones has traded at the absolute saturation for 2 consecutive days. It is heading to the trend line. There is a very heavy probability that once it reaches near to the trend line or hit the trend line, it is going to fail and it is going to give up. Why? Number one, the trend line itself. Number two, my resistance level. Number three, the most important part is that there will be the third, that this will be the third consecutive or the third successive day of seeing the absolute saturation. And no, okay, this doesn't work like this. And let me give you an example, just like I've given you an example in the first point of the agenda. If you notice, S&P 500 was coming down heavily, okay, on Friday, April 19th, okay, it gave 2 consecutive closings at the saturation, means on this day it was absolute saturated and on this day it was absolute saturated. Then what we have seen on the next day, on Monday, bullish movement, more bullish movement. For 3 days there was a bullish movement, okay. This means that the Dow Jones has already overshoot, okay. This means that we are now expecting more pressure. Even if it try to move up, then also it's expected to come down, okay. And the same will happen in the S&P 500. Even if it try to move up, it will hit my resistance level, it will struggle. Other than that, the trend line, it will struggle. Other than that, it will be the second successive day of seeing this absolute saturation, okay, K equal to D equal to 100 stochastic RSI. This is what, okay, is the absolute saturation. And I have shown you that when there were 2, then we have seen 3, okay. This is the 3, this is a short term bullish reversal, okay, bullish retrace, okay. So absolute saturation and all of these conditions indicates that there will be pressure or a shortfall. If for some reason the S&P 500 is able to move up and doesn't give up, trades around the trend line. If for some reason the Dow Jones moves up, remains bullish but doesn't give up, it will be the third day, it will be the second day in the S&P 500. In that case, PPI data, okay, then the stock market or the Wall Street will try to book the profits on Tuesday, okay. Book the profit means that it will try to move up, then for some time it will remain there and then it will fall. Just like what we have seen some profit booking on Friday. I've informed my Patreon community members that, see, we are expecting some profit booking, means there will be a gap up open. After open, it will move up, it will sustain, and then it will come down, and at the first hourly candle will confirm. And the first hourly candle has confirmed that there will be some profit booking. It will come down, find support. It has found the support, okay, because of the Dow Jones, and this was the. So everything was defined in my pre-market update on Friday to my Patreon community members, and the movement was exactly as we were anticipating, okay. So this means that the profit booking is there in the picture. All of this is clear. Now let's consider the next part or the next point, okay, and that next part or the next point is the Wednesday, because I'm not sure if the Wall Street will consider, okay, the PPI data, okay, because recent manipulation and all. So I'm not sure if they are going to consider, but yes, CPI data they will have to consider. They do not have any other option. If the CPI data indicates inflation is going down, definitely Wall Street will move up. If the CPI data indicates that inflation is going to move up or is sustaining, Wall Street will go down, or the stock market will go down, okay. So this is no rocket science. What it means, This means that as of now, in terms of the numbers, let's talk about the numbers. In terms of the numbers, the all-time high was 5265 approximately. 5265 was the all-time high. Trend line is around 5251 or 5250. Okay, it is there. The boundary of the Chimoku cloud is here. Okay, this means that before Wednesday means on Monday and Tuesday, S&P 500 is expected to trade in between the boundary of the Chimoku cloud and the high, all-time high of the S&P 500, or if there comes very little movement, then 5251. Simple. Again, this is an approx number. This is not the accurate number. Okay, this will be the trend line. In between the trend line and the boundary of the Chimoku cloud, the entire movement will be there. Okay, at least until Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, it will remain like that. On Wednesday, as per the data, okay, CPI data, the market will give the movement bullish or bearish. Okay, this will be defined on or this will be known only on Wednesday. If there comes a good news in terms of the inflation, that inflation is coming down, in that case definitely the stock market will be looking for more bullish side movement. Okay, around towards 5300 or so. Okay, if there comes a bad news that the inflation is still holding, sustaining, in that case the S&P 500 and everything will be back, and whatever the bullish trend it has gained, okay, it might lose. I'm not saying that it will 100% lose, no. Okay, because the bullish kind of this movement was seen in December and January 2019 and January 2020. Okay, and then we have seen a very heavy fall in the month of February and March 2020 because of that, the COVID. Because see, the stock market or the Wall Street is aware of everything what is going to happen, and the stock market will give an early reaction to what is going to happen. Whenever there comes a heavy correction or recession, then the stock market gives an unusual movement. So this is nothing new. So bull side, this is there. And now in the bearish side, what we know is that once it comes down, once it gives a one closing inside the Chimoku cloud, then it will enter into the neutral trend. And then what will happen? In that case, the early impact will be seen on the stochastic RSI and the MACD. As soon as the MACD and the stochastic RSI goes down, then the moving averages will follow, okay, within 2 or 3 days, and then the S&P 500 will come down and will find support here around 50, okay, whatever this level is, okay, the boundary of the Chimoku cloud, and then it will try to sustain here. Yes, it will try to sustain at the boundary of the Chimoku cloud, will try to move up, but it will then fail miserably and will be coming down, because there will be then no other option, okay, for the stock market. In terms of the Dow Jones, okay, this is very, very clear, because Dow Jones has not yet regained its absolute bullish trend. It is only 90% bullish, only 90% bullish. Okay, this means that if there comes a failure before it turns bullish, in that case it will never turn bullish. It will simply resume its bearish trend. It will enter into the neutral and then the bearish trend. There will be no bullish trend then. Okay, so now everything will be known as early as on Tuesday, okay, through PPI data, and then finally things will be very much clear, absolute clear on Wednesday, when the CPI data will be published. Okay, and based on the CPI data, the market will give the movement, and whatever will happen, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, especially on Tuesday and Wednesday, I will keep you posted through these, the daily and the precise updates of the S&P 500, my Patreon community members. And guys, if you have not yet joined my Patreon community, then I've given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can join my Patreon community. And guys, hit like if you have liked this video. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. So guys, this was my S&P 500 weekly technical analysis for the week of May 13th. Means from May 13th, which is Monday, to May 17th, that will be Friday. Okay, Monday to Friday.